If you do real estate investment regularly, one question that would always pop up in your mind is, should I buy land? Should I build apartments? Or should I buy apartments? This video series is designed to show you which one of these real estate investments you should be doing. So first things first, one factor that is considered important in the world of investing is returns. Like, what's in it for me? What do you have to offer? What do I stand to gain from whatever I'm investing in? Let's look at a practical example. So if you have a land here in Songotedo and you have money sitting idle in your bank account, like 50 million, and you're really looking at, should I build in Songotedo or should I buy a land in Chevron? You could decide to say, okay, the rate of appreciation in areas like Chevron is very high. Okay, so if I buy a property of 50 million, if I buy a land of 50 million in Chevron, in the next 1 to 2 years, it could appreciate and 50 million could become 100 million or 120 million. So you could be thinking of selling your land in Songotedo or at the same time buying the land in Chevron. On the other hand, let's look at building in Songotedo. If you decide to invest that same 50 million naira into building of apartments, you could set up, like, depending on the land, you could set up like 2 or 4 units of apartments and you could rent that out and at the same time start earning rental income. So in this case, you've done 2 things. You've started earning rental income and you've added value to your land. So in another 1 or 2 years, if you decide to say sell your land is not going to be worth 50 or 70 million like all other property in that area. Reason is because you've added value to your land. So your land will be valued at the land plus the property on it. Another thing you can do is you can sell 1 or 2 of your unit of apartment outright and use the money to furnish the remaining apartments that you have. Okay, of course, in this case, the right to the property that you own will have reduced, but one good thing that happens at that point in time is that you are still receiving rental income from the unit of apartment that you have, and you still have a land and that you can still call your own. As the case may be, you still own your land, and if you keep the property in very good shape, the property is going to appreciate over time. A lot of investors will prefer this to just buying land and keeping it, because by doing this, you've increased the value of your land, you've increased the returns that will come to you because you own that land. As the case may be, you still own your land, and if you keep the property in very good shape, the property is going to appreciate over time. A lot of investors will prefer this to just buying land and keeping it, because by doing this, you've increased the value of your land, you've increased the returns that will come to you because you own that land. Let's look at a second scenario between buying a land in Chevron or deciding to build apartment in somewhere like Mowe. If at a later date you decide to build apartment on your land in Chevron, you know that you would earn rental income faster than in a place like Mowe. Now, don't forget the fact that when you're building in a place like Mowe, you can build relatively cheaper, but at the same time, you cannot compare the rental income in somewhere like Mowe to somewhere like Chevron. So at the end, it boils down to the fact that if you build in a relatively cheap area, rental income would be relatively low than in an area where properties are highly priced. So when it comes to the issue of should I buy land, should I build on my land, should I buy apartments, there is really no right or wrong answer. What you really need to do in each case is to weigh the scenarios, weigh the profitability of whatever you're choosing to invest in and the cost, and take an informed decision based on all the facts that you have. So do you want to forgo a property in an area with high rental value to one in which you can build with ease, or whatever is your investment preference at that particular point in time. So it boils down to the fact that the most important factor that influences your choice is return on investment. What option can return my capital faster?